Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to discuss what is the store procedure in SQL. Okay, so far I have discussed various SQL commands and SQL statements. So whatever we write, okay, to fetch the data, to update the data, to delete the data, right? So we have seen some kind of insert command, we have seen some kind of update command in my previous videos, we have seen delete commands. Okay, so these commands are referred as a DML commands in SQL, data manipulation, okay, language, DML commands in SQL. And okay, we can write SQL statement using these commands. That's what we have seen. Suppose if I wanted to update the record, I can use update table name, okay, t name. I can say then set what to be, what field name to be updated is equal to value, right? Is equal to value. So these kinds of syntax or statements we have already written in SQL, where I can say that where field where field is equal to value. Okay, these kinds of statements we have seen. Okay, and store procedure is nothing but a group of statements. Okay, store procedure is nothing but a group of statement, or we can say that store procedure is, okay, store procedure is a prepared SQL statements or prepared SQL code. Okay, okay, that is used to perform a DML operations on data. Okay, but when a store procedure is used, let's see, we will see the example so that everything will be clear. All your questions will be answered by creating a store procedure. So as I started, I would like to select the database, and if I say select database called cell, okay, or cells is my database. If I select the database, right? So what we can do, we can create a procedure. I will say create a procedure, and then as we have created a table, we are supposed to give the name to this procedure. So I will say procedure sales view. Okay, sales view is my procedure name. On the below line, I can write select star from sales. Okay, select star from sales. And this is how I can not sales, sale is my table. Okay, I don't have a table called sales, so I'm using cell. Okay, and if I create this, right, a store procedure is getting created. You can see here that sales view is created. Now I would like to call this procedure. So to call this procedure, you can say sales view. Okay, and you can write your statement like this, and you can execute this. Whatever the SQL statements written inside the store procedure, all those statements will be executed. Okay, all those statements will be executed. Suppose if you want to delete this, you can say drop procedure. Drop procedure command you can use, and I will say sales view. Now I am going to modify. First, I will delete this sales view. Okay, you don't need to pass whenever you are going to delete. You don't need to pass the parenthesis, but at the time of calling, you need to pass the parenthesis. So you can write any number of whatever the SQL queries you can write as per your requirement. You are able to write. Okay, okay. So when to use store procedure? Suppose if you have to perform DML operation for different values of field, different values of field. Meaning, whenever you have to perform, suppose if you want to perform the update operation, and couple of times same operation you have to perform, but the value for those operation will be different. In that case, you are supposed to use a store procedure. Okay, let's create one more simple procedure to show you. So I will say create procedure. Okay, and I will say update cell. Okay, this is what my procedure name. And here I will write update command, and I will say update cell. And what to update? I need to define sales is not update. Set. Set, and I will say quantity. Okay. Quantity is field name. Quantity is equal to, I will say 25 or 15. Okay. Anything will be good. Where, where, suppose if I say where, and where I have to pass the order ID based on order ID, or for that specific order ID, there is a requirement to update the quantity for specific order ID. And as we can see, I will execute one statement this so that we can see any of the ID, any of the ID or any of the order ID I can pass here. So I will pass CA-2017. So by default, you can see that for first 16709, there is a quantity called 25. And I would like to update that quantity to 25. So I am passing the value that 166,709, exactly what I want. And this is how I have created one DML as command, okay, to process this. But this is a static command, okay. We are not going to change the quantity. We are unable to change the order ID since we are not using a parameter, okay. And now, okay, if you see the result, nothing will be changed. You will see the quantity value as it is, like 15 for 10,500 amount. But if I call that procedure, it will be able to perform the operation. Yes. Okay, procedure is already exist. I need to call it, okay. And to call it, what we can do, we can go here and we can say, we can execute the procedure from there also, or simply we can write call and procedure name. Okay, this is how I can call the procedure. The moment I call it, okay, it will give you the error. This is what basic error. So what you need to do, you need to set SQL save update, SQL save update is equal to 0. Okay, I think updates is my variable name, SQL save updates. And if I execute this, it works. Now I am able to update the database. And now you can see that there is a one row affected. Now if I try to read the data, if I say select, I will say order underscore ID. Okay, then sales amount, and then I can say quantity. Okay, quantity from table called sale. So I don't want all records to be fetched. And here you can say that my quantity value is updated to 25. But since this is a static procedure, okay, I would like to make this a dynamic. Okay, so I don't need to write this update command every time, right? We know that. But since we have passed static values, we have not given a privilege to the user to pass the values. Yes, we can do that also. So every time, whenever you have to perform the update operation for the quantity based on order ID, you are supposed to create a procedure which accepts two parameters. which accepts two parameters. Parameters is nothing but a local variable which is available only inside the procedure only. Okay, only inside the procedure only. Okay, so this procedure is not going to help me with the dynamic output. So what I will do, I will copy this and I will create a new procedure. So I will say update sales one. And instead of passing the quantity, what I will do, qty and type of integer. Okay, I will define two parameter. First, I will define the parameter name followed by type of data. That is what passed by the user whenever who is going to call this procedure. That user has to pass this argument. And another is, I will say odd ID. Okay, and type of data is varchar. Type of data is varchar. Okay, so this is how I can create a procedure with parameter. Procedure with parameter. Okay, and here instead of quantity, now qty will come in a picture, because this is what the parameter we are going to use, and the value of qty is defined when this procedure is called by user, that user is able to define. Okay, and again, this is not my interest. Instead of passing a static id, I will say odd id. Okay, that is what also given by the user. Okay, and if I create this, you can see that one more procedure is created, update sale fund. And now I would like to call this procedure. I will call this procedure from here, and it is asking me for quantity value. So I will say 10 and order ID. Again, it is asking me for the order ID. I will say CA, okay, hyphen 2017 hyphen 166709. For this ID, what we did earlier, we have updated the quantity for 25. Okay, quantity to 25. Now again, this will update the quantity to 10. Okay, and if I say execute, if I go back here, okay, sorry, not on this line, here, and if I try to fetch the record, you will see that the quantity value is getting updated to 10. Suppose if I wanted to perform the same operation again and again for the different ID, okay, yes, you are able to do that also. What you need to do, you can copy this, you can come here and you can pass the different values. So every time you do not need to write the update statement by using procedure. Okay, procedure will store the code. Whatever the SQL statements you have written inside that procedure will be stored and will be reused again and again over the different values. Okay, so now I would like to update. Okay, in error, if I updated that quantity to 10 instead of 15, I can make the changes very easily. If I update this, you can say that this quantity value is getting updated to 15 now, and you can see the 10500 quantity is updated to 15. This is how you can do the updation value. Okay, you can use this dml command or the different values. Okay, and suppose I would like to update, now I would like to make this 13 to 20. Okay, so second value I will pick, and instead of passing this order ID, I will change the order ID, right? This is what going to sit in where clause, right? This is what going to sit in where clause. So I will say 117121 is my order ID. And now I am going to update my record for this ID from 13 to 20. So this is how we can update, we can perform the same operation again and again using store procedure, and you need not to write the query again and again. Okay, so this is what the use of store procedure. Store procedure, we can define it as a prepared SQL code. Okay, what we can do, we can define it as store procedure is a prepared SQL code, right? It is already written somewhere, some or by someone, and that is used to perform the DML operation like this. Like update, we can insert the data, we can delete the data. Mostly, this store procedure is used to perform the DML operations. Okay, now next thing is okay, so we can say that it is also, we can define, okay, it is a group of group of SQL statements, right? SQL statements, and that accepts parameter, right? That accepts parameter. We have seen two parameters called QTY, quantity, and ORD ID, right? So this is what something we call it as a parameter. So we are able to pass the parameter is nothing but local variable. Parameter is nothing but local variable, and we can define a store procedure is a group of SQL statement that accepts, okay, that accepts input from user while calling, okay, I will use short form store procedure, okay, or calling procedure, I will say only. So calling procedure, okay, in the form of, okay, parameters, right? This is what the use of store procedure we have seen, right? And it will perform once the input has taken to perform the specified task on database. So it is going to perform the task on database. This is how we can define store procedure. Okay, this is the use of store procedure. Suppose you can create to read the data also. It's not mandatory. Okay, as we did earlier, you can read, not only necessary to use only insert, update, delete, but you can use, or you can create store procedure to fetch the records, to fetch the record. Suppose if I execute this, okay, or if I execute this, you will see some kind of updates, okay, or see, you will see some kind of data, sales view data, and it is asking me for the state. Suppose if I wanted to read the data, I have already created that procedure, okay, and it is asking me for the state name, okay, and that is what used in my statement where clause. So what it will do, whatever the state name I will pass, it will fetch the records for, it will fetch the records for that specific state. Okay, so this is how I have created store procedure. You can do the same also. What you can do, you have to say create, not store procedure, you have to say only procedure, and then you have to give the procedure name. I will say read cell data, okay, and here we can pass, or we can create the variable. I will say sales integer type value I am going to pass here, okay, and what I will do, I will fetch the records for the sales value greater than 8,000, okay, and for any value we can find out. I will write the query in such a way that, okay, I will say store procedure star, I will say order ID, okay, then order date, then segment, then region, then sales. Okay, this is what we are going to filter on sales, then quantity. Okay, this is what my query to fetch the data, and I'm going to create a procedure for this. So I will say sale, and where where I will say sales is greater than what value? Sales is greater than, here I will create another variable called AMT. Okay, that is what the amount. I will pass one amount, and it will give me the record for higher values of the specified amount. And if I create this, store procedure is created. If I refresh, you can see that. And now I would like to read. Okay, and it is asking me for the value. Suppose if I say 8,000, okay, if I say 8,000, every time I'm just going to change the value, and it will call the store procedure to get the values. Okay, and you can see that I have only these many rows with value higher than 8,000. Okay, I can change this to 3,000. I don't have any problem, and it will return me the records which has a sales value higher than 3,000. So this is how we can use, Or to we can say that like a function in programming language, store procedure works in SQL for the reusability of code, for the reusability of SQL statements. You do not need to write the same statement again and again, by using store procedure. You can write once and execute many times. Okay, by using store procedure with parameters. You have to simply change the value and you will get the output accordingly. This is what the use of store procedure. I hope you got a clear picture about what is the store procedure in SQL. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day.